And just feel through what you feel. You might see or know whatever comes to you. Do you feel anything? Anything in your body or
My arms. See my arms.
it's kind of hard to hear. I don't know what is going on with the sound. It's abruptive, kind of like gets cut off all the time. Can you repeat, please?
I was just saying in my arms.
Okay, perfect. Good. Do you see anything or feel anything around you? Maybe energies, maybe colors, anything.
No.
Okay, then you pick yourself. Go to any recent or not non-recent dream or any memory that just comes up, pops up in your head. You can start just talking about it, and by talking, you'll be going deeper and deeper. Just pick any dream, anything that comes to you, or any memory about some recent event that comes to you.
Um, I can't stop thinking about wanting to know more about what's this, the 55 strands of DNA. That's all I can think of. All that's coming to mind.
Mm-hmm. I see this one thing that appeared straight before. There's like a green ray of light, and it's like a wreath made out of pink flowers. Looks like when cherry trees in blossom or apple trees in blossom, kind of like cherry blossom, more like it. And it's spinning right above your head, and this green light is going into the top of your head. And then if I go up to see where it's coming from, I see it's like a spaceship, but it goes through the spaceship and it goes up to it's, it looks like some sort of headquarters of, there's some interesting metallized seats. They look like reclined seats, metal and white inside. And it's an interesting thing. It's like a big room, but you don't see the walls, but you perceive the rounded walls around, rounding up kind of like this. Imagine like when a flower opens up type thing. And I see a lot of humanoids walking around there, and this everything looks kind of like bright white and silver because they're wearing bright silver kind of suits, one-piece suits. There's a little belt there too. To me, it looks kind of like almost like a golden tiny thin belt. I see their faces clearly. They have this kind of like green eyes, and I have human type face, but very high cheekbones, kind of like chin is thin and pointy. And they have this big green eyes that go up a little bit, not like not like horizontal position, more like vertical type, like diagonal. Um, they have brownish hair, so they don't have blonde. They have brown kind of type hair. They it's almost like it's braided or something. Or the hairs are not thin; they're thick. They look like braids, but they're actually hairs. They're kind of like put on the back, and it makes the perception of a head being pretty big on the back. Some of them wearing some sort of energetic helmets, but the helmets have this front part that goes over when they leave. They leave through, there's some corridor, it goes kind of like down on another platform. The other platform, my perception is like a different world, like a different. It's not a universe, no, it's not a universe. It's some sort of bubble of reality, but it's different, and it's multi-level kind of construction, but um, they're working on, it's like a control station of some sort. Uh, what came to me is programmazione, come like programmation, like IT, people type thing, program energies. They know how to program energies. And some energies, I see you, I see you as a man in a man's body. It's like your name is Hasi. I got the Hasi. Hasi, I guess. No, Hasi. And you say that some programs are programmed for good. You cannot change them. Others you can. Some antivirus programs are better than others, just like down here. And the 55 strands of DNA is a program also that you created it for yourself, because you wanted to possess, to exhibit particular features. He says it's like a database that you carry in your soul's ring, or soul's um, outside shell, and you're holding like a egg, looks like an egg in your hand, and saying that if you want me, I can explain it, that every planet we create, every soul looks kind of like an egg. It has a shell, hard core. It's hard to break it, but sometimes soul's essence, due to the body programming that it incarnates in, can weaken the shell, much like enamel on your teeth, that they can thin out, and break. But it's due to emotional stress, mental stress, events in your life that are out of your control. You're showing me some device that can measure their level. Levels have to be even in balance. Um, so basically, it's kind of like, imagine a palette of colors that you have as the artist, And this is your DNA strands, and that's what you're showing to me. And then you have only this many colors. Let's say you have this orange, yellow, and green, right? Three colors. And you kind of have to use only those because according to your DNA, that's these are the frequencies that you carry, and you have to pinpoint. You make out of dots. You know how this technology of drawing, like technique, dot 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 dot. So out of those dots, you create your physical body. Let's say when you incarnate on Earth or any other, there's a lot of physical planets too you can incarnate on in a physical body. So you create it. You create an outline and then you color it in, things like that, just like normally you would paint. And you figured that 55 is enough for you for the experiences in this particular universe. But then you can go back to your programmation center, and you can reconfigure and add more. And you like when double numbers, you like double numbers. I see 88, 99. You can pick those two for the other ones. And also I see split of consciousness right now, as if the sky is opening up. Yeah, you're showing me an interesting thing. You know, like a chestnut, when a chestnut in a green skin, and the skin chestnut falls down, and from that shock of her hitting the ground, the skin opens up and the chestnut comes out. That's how the original Earth is. It's actually stuck in the birthing canal right now. It's almost out, but it's still there. It's still connected to the old reality, but through the turmoil we are getting through the birthing canal and out. But every single soul has to go through some sort of realization or to be reborn again. That's what you're showing to me on the screen on this beautiful. I mean, it's really beautiful. It's like a white lotus flower, but petals are like made out of some plasticized metal, and there's screens on top, and they look like the perception was like they're hanging in the nowhere. It's imagine the very heavy fog, and I feel like this is what, from our perspective, we call source. We're all there working too. We're not just hanging. We're not just like doing nothing. I feel like we're doing a lot. This is the action time right now. And this is one, and we always have a choice. But how you connect better to your soul incarnated in any body is when you start acting. Through action you exist, through action you perceive, through action you feel, and through action you become a life kind of being. But that's what you're telling me. And this wreath of pink flowers like cherry blossom above your head. I also see on the planet, you go to some planet of the little dragon creatures, they look kind of funny. They have this light green skin. They have the very thin and long neck, a big head with big like dark brown eyes. They're kind of round. It was like cartoonish kind of like. And you're saying that for this turbulent period, you prefer to detach yourself from this reality and onto this planet. And You spend a lot of time there. I see interesting things in the air. Two eyes and like a jellyfish, like tentacles, but they're more like kites. They're floating in the air. The air is yellow, and they are yellowish too. You can hardly see them because they blend in. It's like mimicry or something. And what you do is, wait, you're saying something. The sun is getting activated again, different activation. Those who woke up from awakening and awakening and awake. I see like boxes. Imagine like you put one box inside the other. I see boxes opening and you're holding them still in front of me. One box after another, another. You said, well, each box holds a different frequency and we activate it in a different way. So we create multiple reality out of one reality. Everybody's going to be living in his kind of reality, but then the realities will even up and connect. But for some, it's going to take time to actually connect, and it's through the DNA, through the DNA soul connection, through the physical etheric DNA connection that you can connect to the and start working at creating the new reality that is already existing in the etheric. It's open, but some cannot come because of their uh, rational physical mind understanding is not high enough to pass the test of entering the other field of understanding and the other field of existence. It's so different from this one. You'll be stuck and frozen if you try to go unless you know how it works. And a lot of people still don't. But there's going to be a lot of more shaken before the new Earth is born. The new slash old Earth is born, reborn. It's a rebirth of the original Earth. Do you see anything? Do you feel any? Do you see anything I'm talking about?
No, I don't. I'm not. I'm here on the couch. That's where I'm at.
Do you feel okay? Let me come to you. Do you feel me around?
No, I'm sorry. I don't. I'm not. I'm not understanding. I guess.
You're like probably too rational or logical, something like this. Because I
But
feel like you. I'm standing there, but I feel like you never really That's why the DNA came up also, because it's like your physical DNA doesn't let you go into this because you're constantly thinking. I see thoughts passing, like crossing your mind all the time too. It's kind of like taking over the subconscious part, subconscious mind. But you're putting the wreath on your head right now and you're saying, with you, it's a different thing. You are an unstoppable creator. That's what you call yourself. I also see like very interesting creatures. It looks like Um, the dog was like very flat face. Yeah, well, like a cat, like a Persian cat, but it has the very tall, like long ears on top. And you're creating those in blue color, absolutely like bright blue color. Um, but you were saying something about the family in the future, that you're also creating family in the etheric yourself. I see that. I see like your husband and a little son in the beach and a dog right now. I don't know, for me like popped up 2024, 25. But of course, I mean, that's the timeline from now, but you can change it always. And then I see some sort of like huge beam of light. I mean, it's huge. It's not just a beam of light. It's like pole. Imagine a column, like Roman, buildings have those columns, but it's hundreds kilometers across and shining down. And I see some people in the shadow and some people in the light. And you're saying that's really happening very close to where we are at now. There's going to be a lot of transition, transformation. That's why your subconscious does it. Wants to do this first and experience it first. There's like energetic balls of light, blue light coming down. It's kind of interesting. They go like a pyramid, down, 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 and they roll down. There's some balls with fire around rolling down too, and they accumulate in different countries, different spots of the world. Cannonballs. It's like your subconscious tells me you don't need to see it, you kind of know it. But the thing is, you deny it a lot of times. Like the information comes to you, but your conscious mind denies it. But you have to grab the moments when it comes, when you feel it real close, and you just know before your rational mind takes over, because your rational mind likes to be kind of rather taken over and louder than the subconscious. But that's because you're like a leader of some sort. You like to lead, and in order to lead, you need to be heard. In order to be heard, you need to be loud. So connected, but that's how your soul wanted it to be. But there's gonna be a time when people are gonna be listening to you. And I feel like you're in charge of some company or something like this, some group or something. You're like leading them. I see like a symbology of a horse running on it. Hmm. There's little stars behind. But there's gonna be all changing. There's a reason why people are gonna be leaving some areas, regrouping, reforming, reconsidering, meeting up with some, leaving the others, things like that. That's what you're saying. But you're also saying to yourself that there's a little tiny secret flower of life in the middle of this planet. And the shell of this planet is broken and cracked. And the baby planet with the flower of life inside is coming out. And it's not much left for it to come out, but when it comes out, it causes some shifts in the physical material from which the earth, physical earth is created, is made. And the shifts are gonna cause, I literally just saw, like, and I keep seeing it, like, imagine I saw a little river, and the river starts expanding, made wider, 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 wider. So it's like, I understand what you're saying to me. As this birth of this old new earth is in the process, this because the original earth is a water-based planet, there's going to be more water on this planet as a result of the birthing process. Um, there's nothing to be scared of, but it's just a natural process. That's how it's going to be. It's much like before the baby is born, the waters are coming out first. The waters are going to be coming out soon, very soon, because the original Earth will be born very soon. the The completion of the process is going to be soon. But there's a reason why we're all coming together and communicating with certain people, attracted to certain people. You're saying, listen to your own inside heart, that feeling. Nothing else matters right now, because it's like all the historical events, everything that was not right, done wrongly, are gonna come up one after another, much like lava being spit out of volcano, one thing after one drop after another, and we're gonna see it all. It's like a big movie, except it's real, being played out in different parts of Earth with the people involved. It's almost like as if Earth was working through the you call it karma of the human race controlled by malevolent alien groups. Because this karma is really not karma, but it's a rather negative energy that is being erupted from the surface, and which causes, and because it's connected through the root energetic system to the people on the ground, on the surface, is going to cause confusion. It's going to cause some parts of the world hatred, and people going to fight with each other. It's just a natural process. You have to get rid of the dirty waters before the clean waters come, but it's going to touch everybody one way or the other. It depends how, it depends the way. Those who are in denial, it's gonna hit them harder. Those who understand and hold strong, they're just gonna process it faster. It depends. But we are on the cliff, and everything around is just like space. Well, you're showing me a cliff and a space, and then I see from a cliff that like three kind of like rock type spiky things are growing. And this is gonna be, and this is some sort of like another metallic flower, so symbolizes the artificial world emerging because it was already created in the etheric. I see some interesting alien race. It kind of looks like imagine black gorillas, kind of black color, kind of like that, but they look more like human, just weird. But the mouth and the nose looks like gorilla would have. But it's like the Planet of the Apes type beings. They're all armed. They're in armor. They have the metallized kind of vests. They are some sort of race created by Anunnaki to be a race of fighters. Because Anunnaki, at the point, they are telling all the other races that if Earth doesn't belong to us, we'll destroy it. But the other races are still trying to control each and every uh, colony that belongs to them. And I see a lot of fighting going on in the etheric. And you know about it. That's why you created this passageway through that wreath of pink flowers into your on board of your spaceship. From the board of the spaceship, you go to your own platform. That's where we're working full speed there. But you know me from there too. I see some interesting actually. We use some technology too. It looks like a mechanical robotic device of some sort. It carries some crystals in it. It looks like a robot stuffed with crystals. Hard to explain how it looks like, but it has information, and the crystals they put into computer screens, and it shows what information it has from different points or parts of the universe. I see different constellations. I see Lyra, I see Pegasus. I see Big Dipper, Orion, Pleiades, Blue Sun constellations. It's like all the genetic manipulation has to go back. All the groups that they've been taken over by malevolent beings have to be uh, coming back to people. So police should serve people, not beat up people. Uh, Media has to tell the truth. It's just basically like it's all programs, okay? It's all programs I see on computer screens, all tons of programs everywhere. It's the way we program energies. You know how to program. That's probably why you can go into trance, because you're all about reconfiguration of different DNA strands into, and you know how, let's say you don't mutate the DNA to create a certain being, you reconfigure, and it's a different thing. You reconfigure and you create new strands. It's totally different from taking original strands and mutating them. You're making new ones all the time and you connect them to the other ones or make the brand new type idea. So you can create beings and animals and all kinds of life form for other uh, universes, platforms, bubbles of reality, because there's no separation really in between universes. It's just our perception. That's what you're saying. It's all like a big one field of one vibrational field goes into another, into another, into another, and they're totally connected. There's no borders. Our perception of borders comes from Anunnaki originally. They wanted to separate their people from others. That's why. But but now the world is gonna go back to no borders. Some countries are gonna fall, others are gonna rise and reconnect and become one big family. There's gonna be a lot of stuff happening. Mm. Do you have any questions to ask? Just basically saying to you what your subconscious is saying.
Yeah. Um,
I can't hear you. I don't know what's going on with our connection all the time. Do you hear me?
oh, no, I can hear you. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Okay. No, I was just saying, no, it definitely resonates, I guess. See, my thinking and kind of what I wanted to get out of this was feeling like there's like the significance in with for some reason with the DNA, and that I feel like the more that I can try to figure that out, like I need to figure like I feel like I'm being told like I need to figure this out because a lot of the answers to my questions lie within there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because that's what you're dealing with. You're constantly playing and creating DNA material basically for creating matter,
Right.
for because it forms matter, kind of molds it into a specific form and shape, and that's why you feel it. But more than ever right now, it's kind of we're getting rid of the not only, they call it junk DNA, but we're also getting rid of fake DNA. If it makes sense, like something that is like real garbage that was infused into us. But a lot of people have a lot of it. Before you get rid of it, you have really activated 100%. So in some people, what you're saying, we see, that's why we see true colors of people because their DNA is completely activated. So if they carry a lot of reptilian DNA or Draco or other races, malevolent, you would see the true colors of that person in action, and so and that's how you know who is who and whom you want to deal with. and in what direction you want to move. Because those people who pretend to be whom they're not, they just hold you back on your way. And right now is like the era of uncovering the truth. Um, and a lot of this truth has to come through DNA, through the connection and the passageways, mental, emotional bodies. That's your humans part of you that you cannot just block out and be like a machine. As a matter of fact, we're kind of acting against the machine idea, everything mechanized. Therefore, we need to use our emotions and feelings, and we have to reject the idea of somebody telling you, somebody explaining to you. You owe your own explanation to your own self, only you, not anybody else. Because your explanation is always formed by your own etheric DNA, and it's formed the best way possible. Because if somebody explains it to you, it's like a program to you. It's an artificial foreign program. Everybody has his own personalized program according to his her DNA, and that's why it doesn't work by just listening to somebody explaining this or that to you. It would simply, it might resonate, but it's not going to be mm, the information you go by to open yourself up, to improve yourself, to make yourself more open and connected to your soul. It's still going to be foreign truth. It's not your truth. That's why slowly but surely it looks like we're going to, those who understand this, they would understand that everything in a way that anybody else says or explains is artificial to your true self, even though it's their true self speaking to them. The whole system is wrong. The whole system is wrong. The way we view it. All you do is like you just follow you act by your characteristics given to you by your DNA. If you can do this, you can do that. If you're, this expression service to others, what it means is just you create things for yourself, but you don't accuse, judge. Judge is the wrong way to explain it. That's what you're saying too. It's like you acknowledge what is going on. You try to help. That is what you call service to others, but you don't live in denial. Machines will take souls who live in denial, who live by program of this um, group thinking or that group thinking. Group thinking has to be rejected by a true natural soul. Only artificial souls group think because it's a hive mind already. If somebody repeats the program that the other one says out loud, and that the other one repeats, domino effect, all start believing in this one person, what this one person is saying, it's automatically group thinking, it's automatically an egregore of a huge AI machine technology. So it's a hive mind. They're gonna, basically, you're showing me they're gonna create little bubbles of different hive minds, then connect them all into a big bubble of hive mind. From that big hive mind, it's going to be an artificial source created There's a tubing system leading to it. It's like an energy. It's almost like the tubes go through black holes and go to people, and it's all like suction devices or vacuum devices sucking the souls who group up under this one idea, one specific ideology or explanation or view, which becomes a program in their heads. And this tube scans people, identifies them by belief system, and sucks them into this. That's what you're showing to me. And that's probably why, not probably subconscious says, but that's why you want to disconnect from everybody these days, because you feel like you know what's going to happen for those people who live in hive mind groups. And mm, it's like they're in little boxes. They box themselves up by their own free will, and they repeat blindly what others saying, and they feel like they're strong, and they have the force, they have the strength of the group, but it's a false perception. They don't have the strength of the group. They're kind of like parrots who repeat the same exact words, the same exact theories, narrated by others that are completely fake, and they're designed to glue people together under one ideology type thing, under one egregor. That's what you're showing to me. So, but that's what your subconscious wants you to know, that you're doing the right thing. I see that sometimes they're trying to attack you. You know what I see? I see like if I go one of the night times when you sleep, I see like a light. It's like a light worm made out of yellow light, and it has this four teeth on top and the bottom and the big like mouth open, almost like that fish from very like deep waters on the ocean. And they almost like try to bite your energy sphere, but you kick them off energetically. This is kind of like the low vibrational worms that come through explosions that are happening in the world right now. They either energetic explosions or physical explosions. Bombs, explosions, things like that, opens wormholes for low vibrational beings to come, and they're starting to attack people. There's a lot of people there. It's either they feel pain in their bodies, throughout the bodies, different parts of their bodies, or they feel heavy in their bodies. This heaviness comes from from the bombs, these bombs and everything in in Ukraine, and it's opens the portals for the low vibrational beings. They spread, they spread to other countries, so everybody who's sensitive feels it, either heavy or pains in the body. Some people even pass because it's too much for them to handle, especially when they're physically weak already. I clearly see it. You know how they come? It's just weird. It's like, imagine if you put worms in this warm kind of like bowl of worms, and then I see explosion happens, like the bomb explodes, and then the ball comes through like fast, high speed through this explosion wormhole, and then they like all of a sudden like snake, and they crawl into different directions around this, what we call our world, our earth. So that's what's happening now. I see the face of this queen of the worms, or whatever that she calls herself. She's kind of like burnt up, sorry, snake face, brown with spots, with dots, with lines, like a long, but looks like a very angular kind of face, like little eyes. Hmm. This is a real war in between like light and dark. This is the darkness that we see. So, but the light always wins. That's what you're saying. That's why you're saying that. Well, that's why I go to my program center when we program the worlds, the energies, because the way we program the base of the DNA programming has to be the light always wins, not the other way around. It can be a long passageway, it can be a long way, but there's always the strongest will fight off the evil. The strongest will fight. They would volunteer to fight off the evil and will win at the end. That's what's going to happen this month, the end of the month. Now I saw March 27 before. I see March 28 now clearly. So 28, 29, like that. So we'll see. But that's what you're telling me.
Yeah, that definitely answered my question as
Yeah.
far with, and I'm really interested in rewatching this because I think this one I'm gonna get a lot more out of when I watch it again
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of put the puzzle pieces together because I was kind of scattered a little bit when I was listening and
Right.
oh,
Yeah. You're very technological, you're very technical, you're very spiritual, but you're very good at energy technology. You know exactly when not to cross the limit. And you are like one of those operators of the world who watch that limit. So technology doesn't win over, take over the consciousness, the spirituality, because you've studied a lot of words when it happened before, and you promise to yourself you'll be watching for it not to ever happen again, because that's when the major destruction happens. That's when planets explode. That's when life completely gets erased. And this planet, you're saying there's a lot of souls like yours are working at it, that the life here is not going to be erased. The planet is not going to explode like others planet did in the past. You're making sure that it's done the right way. But at the same time, it's a process. The energy flows. The flow, you cannot skip from A to B without the going through the stages. We're going through the stages, like birthing stages. You always show me this, but it's almost like you don't show me the mother giving birth, but you show me like it's like the earth looks like an egg, and an egg opened up, and there's another little egg coming out, kind of like this, but this little egg looks kind of like earth, you know. So let's say the metaphor that you're showing your subconscious. That's how it works. And we're going through stages right now, and it's rough and tough and all this. Birth is never easy. The way the AI kind of reconfigured it from the originally created beautiful birth, no pain, beautiful process for a mother and the baby, but we're kind of going through the stages of AI birth, generated birth, which is very mechanical, very rough, fights, kind of like fires, local wars, people fighting, not understanding, disinformation, misunderstood all over the place. Uh, in this outward of information which is designed to confuse you, don't listen to your heart. because your heart knows this is true, this is not, this is true, this is not, because people are like now so connected through I see literally from both sides of the head, like metallic cords going into the phone, and everybody's connected to the phone, and it comes AI program, the phone connected to the brain. So you're all running on AI program if you're constantly doing this. But instead of this, absorb information, feel with your heart if it's true or not, and say, okay, despite everybody saying this, I feel that. You know what I mean? Because everybody kind of goes, because you get sucked in into a particular little section of the AI programming if you just go by somebody's narrative, not by your heart feeling. So that's what's happening, and you just like explaining to yourself that it's good to understand, acknowledge what's happening, and but at the at the end, kind of like you can help and all that to people. It doesn't mean that you have to totally ignore, and it's important to acknowledge we're going through a birthing process and can touch anybody else. That's important to understand too. If it doesn't touch you now, it might touch you later, but that's the thing. And we're all in it together, and only in unity and compassion we can unite. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. So it's gonna, not that it's not gonna work at the end, but it's gonna prolong the process for some people big time. It's gonna take much longer for them, and it's gonna be more painful, to understand, to get back to understanding of feeling you, because you're in a human body, you have to use the human senses to understand the reality. You can't bypass that. You can't just like cancel that out and say I'm ignoring everything and I'm living by the narrative of this or that, or because the narratives are given by the big egregore machines, and they're all huge and they all have a lot of people attached to them. So, but anyway, yeah, you say it's better to have one person who feels the same way you feel rather than a big group of people who repeats one story the same way over and over and over and over again to the point you take it as your belief system. And that's when you're screwed, like as if you were belonging to a religious cult. So it's hard to get yourself out of it. So I don't know if you're ready to come out, we can. Or if you have other questions, we can look at that too.
No, I think I'm good with the questions. I think they were answered, and like I said, I'm looking forward to like rewatching
Hmm.
and back on some of the stuff you were talking about, because it was like
Yeah, this is your
it was
subconscious talking about through me. Yeah,
right.
it's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting for others to watch too, I'm sure. Okay, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you got out already. Good.
Yeah, I was. I don't think I ever was. I don't know. I
You
was
you
just.
keep
I was always just right here on the couch.
Yeah, it's because you're left brain dominant. That's what, they usually explain, because it's like you're more logical, right? You're clear, but it's good too because you're clear-minded. In being clear-minded, you kind of like you don't put yourself in the bubble of illusion like some
Right.
people do. You just, okay, this is it, this is how it is, and if you need to act, I'm sure you act very fast and very rationally, in every situation. You don't go like crazy.
Right.
But that's what I, yeah, I feel like you don't really, mm, but that's the Italian regressologist or like hypnotherapist explanation. The
Right.
Italian school of regressology says that, by your physical DNA, it's predetermined if your body can go into trance or not. So, I mean, it just this rational part doesn't let you. But at the
Right.
same time, it doesn't mean that you're not connected. It's just that, you needed me to connect. So, okay, well, let me turn it off. Well, that's nice. Can we share this video?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Okay,
sure.
thank you.
Yeah,
That's good.
absolutely.
That's good. Thanks.